Hello and welcome back to another episode of a Cozy Christmas podcast. My name is Art, and welcome to a very special episode of the Cozy Christmas podcast. I just wanted to take a minute to thank everyone who found me and listens to me on YouTube. It's a small group here, but I know it's a very loyal one. It really means a lot. So I wanted to make a special video edition of this podcast, and I mostly just to kind of play around with it and see how I like it. I'm always interested in trying out new things, and this will certainly count as one of them. So if you want to stare at my ugly mug during this episode, you can head over to Cozy Christmas Podcast on YouTube and check out the episode. Although I am embarrassed to say I forgot my Santa hat, to put my Santa hat on, and I'm feeling a little too lazy to go and get it. But today I have a wonderful interview scheduled for you. I'll be speaking to a YouTuber or booktuber, Tiffany from the Beachbum Bookworm channel. She has a wonderful YouTube channel where she talks about cozy mysteries and some romances, but the part I really love is when she talks cozies, and she talks a lot about cozies. I feel like she is just constantly reading them and then talking about them, and I have found some great new series thanks to her channel. So I invited her on the show today to dig deep into the subject of cozy mysteries, as well as, of course, talking all things Christmas today. If you've been watching some of my Cozy Christmas Book Corner videos, you'll know I've been recommending quite a few cozy mysteries of late. But I mean, these are just, to me, the perfect read for this time of year. They're low key, you know, they're comforting, they're not stressful. They have enough of a mystery and intrigue that keeps my brain turning, but not so intensely that I lose all train of thought and focus only on reading. Well, actually, I do that anyway. But so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play the interview, and then afterwards I'll come back on. I've got a couple other things to round up, but I hope you enjoy my interview with Tiffany from the Beachbum Bookworm YouTube channel. My guest today is Tiffany, and she runs the Beachbum Bookworm YouTube channel, where her main topic is cozy mysteries, though she does branch off into other books like romances and others. But what attracted me to her channel was all the talk about cozies and recommendation for cozy mysteries. So, Tiffany, welcome to the. I gotta make sure I get my right podcast here. Welcome to the Cozy Christmas podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so good to be here with you.
Yeah.
I love talking cozy. So,
yeah. I wanted to bring in an expert tonight. So, seeing how many cozies you read.
Oh, well, thank you.
Like I've been doing on my podcast and on the YouTube channel, I've been posting some videos of book reviews, and here towards the end of November, early December especially, I'll be having a lot of cozy mystery recommendations. So
That's awesome.
To kind of kick everything off, Tiffany, I wanted to reach out to you, and a little bit later we're going to be talking. I'll have you give some recommendations for us, what we can read this Christmas season to kind of get in the mood of murder, mystery, and Christmas.
Excellent.
At the very least, it'll give us some creative ideas of time with the relatives gets a little tense, I guess.
Right.
I know how to poison your food. Now watch it. All right. Well, to get things started, first off, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks that may not know you, and tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel.
Yeah. So I started my YouTube channel in, I think it was December 2020. And I live in Florida, so I was trying to come up with a name, and it just kind of spiraled into Beachbum Bookworm. I just have so much fun with my channel, and I honestly, if you would have told me it was going to be more than like 20 members of my family like watching it, I would have been fine with just that. Like, I just enjoyed really doing it, and I talk about cozy mysteries, and I do talk about romance and some women's fiction once in a while, but it's about 85 to 90% cozy mysteries. I do reviews. I do monthly releases. I do a series called Spotlighting Cozies where I look at different themes. It might be, right now I'm doing like a spotlight on book cozies. So that could be library or editing or bookbinding or bookstores, whatever you kind of, anything associated with books. And I have other themes. I have like a beach theme. Culinary, bakery, and so forth. I also do wrap ups, that sort of thing, tags. It's just just anything book related, and I absolutely love it and just have so much fun with it.
Yeah, and your love and energy really comes out in your videos.
Thank you.
I really enjoy that. I think I just found your channel not that long ago, about maybe this summer, I think it might have been.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah. So do you have a favorite cozy topic, or do you just read widely and enjoy it all?
I would say my favorites are culinary themed, particularly bakery, inns and B&Bs, and farm and orchard, like fruit orchard, farm orchard, farmers markets, like that sort of thing. But I love any and all. I mean, at the end of the day, I read almost any and all.
Right. Well, I might have some recommendations for you then. So
I love that.
All right. I was going to ask about your name. So the Beachbum Bookworm. So you named it because you're in Florida.
I live in Florida, and I live really close to the beach. And
nice.
I started in so maybe it was December of 2019. It was, well, no, because it was kind of towards the beginning of COVID. Anyways, and so at the time I was thinking, I live, when I say I live in Florida, I live only about a half an hour from the beach. And so I was like, wouldn't it fun to do how like Jay Leno or David Letterman used to like talk to people around town? I was like, oh, I'll do a series where I talk to people at the beach and like, what really are you reading at the beach? Because there's always like categories at the bookstore of beach reads, but I don't think it's ever been where I've actually seen people read at the beach. So I was like, that would be really fun. And then I haven't got to do that. I still have the intentions, but between COVID and then just like other stuff, it just hasn't happened. But that was originally the intention, and will still come. I know it will happen. And I just kind of, that's how the name kind of first came to be.
If I tried that, I live in Iowa. If I tried that, I'm not sure anyone would be reading anything. Actually, my wife works as a part-time librarian, and she said most of them they come in wanting now the guy's name is slipping. He's really a well-known name. He writes a million mysteries, thrillers. James Patterson, yeah. She's it's an older retired community, and they'll come in. What's the latest James Patterson?
Yeah.
I hope you get a chance to do that, because I'd be real interested to see what we're really reading at the beach here. So
right, I do too. Yeah, or and it would be fun just to ask people. A lot of people don't know about hidden or about cozy mysteries. I feel like a lot of times it's a hidden gem. Like I feel like they're becoming more popular. But a lot of times I still get a question like, what is a cozy mystery? And so that could be another question, like asking people if they know what it is. And I don't know. I just think it'd be a lot of fun to go out and talk to people at the beach. So we'll see. It'll happen.
I've heard some people referring to books like Louise Penny's books as cozy mysteries. And I'm like, not really. No, I love them. Don't get me wrong. But those cozies are a very distinct genre, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I guess go ahead. Could you go ahead and tell us kind of what makes a cozy versus like a mystery or thriller?
Well, and this is, I don't know that there's an official definition, but when I think of it, like there's no blood and gore on page. There's not a lot of foul language. There's not a lot of graphic violence or sex or, anything like that on page. It's usually in a small town. It's usually an amateur sleuth. They own a flower shop, they own a bookstore, and they just happen to apparently solve murders by night. Like, you know,
Yeah.
And there's usually like a big reveal at the end. I often like tell people who haven't heard of cozies as I'm describing it, I'm like, if you've heard of Murder, She Wrote, or you watch like Hallmark movies and mysteries that are, you know, the mystery, that's kind of, you know, along of the line of a cozy mystery. A lot of quirky characters, a lot of town involvement, you know, that sort of thing.
It's almost like a Hallmark Christmas movie if there were a murder in it, you know?
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. And some of them can feel a little repetitive, but honestly, I think a lot of them also do a pretty good job at making themselves distinct in some way too, especially some of my favorites.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, we're looking for some recommendations here for this best time of the year to read mysteries, and it's
Yeah.
cold outside. Well, I don't know how Florida is, but we've had a little bit of snow already, so I'm pretty happy about that. But now I just want to stay inside and read. I asked you to bring some cozy mystery ideas of especially Christmas related. So why don't you go ahead and just kind of talk about what you have to recommend to us?
Yeah. So the first two are series, and they kind of all revolve around Christmas. So the first one is the Year-Round Christmas series by Vicki Delany.
Mm-hmm.
And this featured everything, you know, cozy mysteries are also very punny. I kind of left that out of the definition. So the titles are all punny, but like this one takes it to a whole new level. Like they live in Rudolph, New York. The main character's name is Mary, spelled like Merry Christmas. Her sisters are Carol and Noel, I think, or something like that. She owns a like Christmas ornament / kind of all year round Christmas store that sells decorations and every stuff called Mrs. Claus Treasures. And I mean, there's just pun after, you know, about Christmas. And it's just a really fun series. It's in a colder environment in New York. It sounds like it's in the like tip of the north part of it. And it's so cozy. It's one of my favorite series. I just absolutely love it. The second series is called the Christmas Tree Farm series by Jacqueline Frost. And the main character owns a Christmas tree farm, and they have these, they call them the Rudolph games. And so like people like come and they have like different competitions, a gingerbread competition and a snowball competition and ice sculpting and all these different things. And it's just another really, really cozy series. And almost every book revolves around Christmas because it's a Christmas tree farm. This is a side note, but I'm so excited about it. So her next book number 4, comes out in October of 2023. And Jacqueline Frost, who is Julianne Lindsey, is going to kill me in her book. So I'm going to be the victim. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. So excited.
Oh, that's great.
I know. I interviewed her and I was like, will you murder me? She's like, huh? I'm like, no, I'm serious. I would love that. So, yeah. I'm just so excited. And so then the other 3 that I have are just Christmas books within a series. So the next one is Apple Cider Slang, which is the first book in the Cider Shop series, which is also by Julianne Lindsey. So the main character owns a apple orchard, and they then open like a place that has like a wedding reception area, and she makes different flavors of apple cider and all this thing. And she runs it with her grandma. That's another thing I didn't forget in Cozy's characteristics. There's always like a very important sidekick. And if it's not a good friend, it's usually like a significant relative, a really close grandma, really close aunt, you know, something of that nature. And in this one, her grandmother, it's spelled Granny Smith, like the apple, because she calls her Granny Smith. I think it's actually pronounced Smythe. But that's the way it looks when you look at it. So it's kind of a fun pun. And then the next one is a KU series, but it was amazing. So the first book is called Peril at Pumpkin Hill. And it's the first book in the In Vermont series. And it's set at Christmas time. It's by Thea Cambert. And it was just the quintessential cozy. It's in Vermont. There's, snow on the ground and everything you can possibly imagine because it's an inn. They're doing all of these Christmas events for their guests. And it's very, very Christmas oriented and very cozy. I don't know about the rest of this series. I definitely want to continue it, but I've only read that one. And then the last one, this one was really fun. It was A Cup of Holiday Fear. It's number 10 in the Bake Shop series by Ellie Alexander. So in this one, our main character is Jules. She owns a bakery in Ashland, Oregon called Tort. And in this one, there's a inn in town and she's holding a Dickens feast. So it's like a closed-in murder, but they're having like the Dickens, and they're all dressed up and playing these parts. And then, of course, a murder happens. And Jules, our baker, apparently also murder solver, is on the case. It's fabulous.
Yeah. Oh, those sound perfect. I'm really interested about that Christmas Tree Farm series. That sounds really good.
It is really fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
I guess my favorite cozies especially are the ones that take place at Christmas. And then to find a series that, takes place all the time in or around that theme. I know that the Vicki Delany one, I interviewed her for the podcast. I think it was last year or earlier this year. I think.
That's awesome.
Can't remember. But yeah, I love her titles. I think one is God Rest Ye Murder Gentlemen and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You got to interview her.
Yeah, well, yeah. It was really nice, and she's wonderful. Although now I got to start asking these people I interview if they'll kill me off in a book. So,
right?
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Same. I agree.
So, was that in the Christmas Tree Farm series you're going to get killed off in? Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Well,
the next book coming out in October of 2023.
I got to keep an eye out. I got to start reading those. Definitely add that. Well, there's a couple I wanted to bring up as well. And especially since you just said you like books that take place in the B&B. I'm reading one right now called High Spirits by Carol J. Perry, and it's part of the Haunted Haven mystery series. And it's just book 2. It's a relatively new series. It's out by Kensington, and the first one took place. It's called Be My Ghost instead of Be My Guest, and she inherits a bed and breakfast in Florida. I think she lived in New York. But there's some mysteries around it that she doesn't really know the lady who died and gave her this B&B. She doesn't really know her. I think she met her once when she was a kid. And so that's kind of an ongoing mystery between the 2 books I've read so far is why did she choose her to give her this B&B? The B&B also has ghosts. There's some good food scenes as well. It's just, and it takes place in Florida. So it's,
it's funny because so we do reading sprints during the week. Mm-hmm. And one of my friends from that book group just recommended that series yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be interviewing the author depending on when this comes out. I'll either have done it or will be doing it. So
that's so amazing.
Kensington is this is going to be a shameless plug for them, but I really love their books, and they've really been a help to me. They just reach out and say, hey, you want us to help you connect with some of our authors? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
That's amazing.
They're not paying me to say that or anything, just a side note, but I really really appreciate what they've been able to help me find.
That's awesome.
And then I'm pretty sure I've recommended this on your channel or like in your comments, but the Mrs. Claus series by Liz Ireland is really fun. Mrs. Claus is solves mysteries at the North Pole,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. she's like a younger Mrs. Claus. Their whole structure of how Santa works, it's almost like kind of a Downton Abbey feel to it, with you've got the patriarch who's Santa, and then when he dies, the firstborn son takes over and kind of perpetuates it, and then his wife becomes Mrs. Claus. But it's kind of loosely based on that British hierarchy kind of thing. But it's so much fun. It's kind of wacky at times. There's talking reindeer and there's elves, and yeah, it's so much fun, and the mysteries are great. And she has a new one out just this year. It's the third book, I think, and I think it's called like Mrs. Claus and the Evil Elf. And I've talked about this series before, so long time listeners can probably guess my list by this point. But and then Darcy Hannah has a series as well that takes place in a lighthouse converted into a library or a bakery. And she has one book that takes place at Christmas, but I think there's 3 out in the series right now. But I've enjoyed every one of them. They're really outstanding. But the Christmas one that she wrote especially was really good.
I've seen the cover of it, and it's gorgeous. The cover on it is so cute.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about cozies too, is the artwork on the cover.
Yep.
I know they tell you never judge a book by its cover, but I do all the time.
All the time. Like, I'm so guilty of it.
Yeah. There's one I just finished. It's called Silent Knit, Deadly Knit, and it's about a knitting club, and I can't remember who wrote it right off the top of my head, but I'm not a knitter at all. Like, but like the cover is so beautiful. I have to read this.
Yeah, they get me a lot too. Yep.
Yeah. Good. I'm not alone on that. Yeah.
No, between the cover and then the title, yeah, you suck me in right away.
Yep. Well, and as you can tell, that was a Christmas cozy. Those are a few of my recommendations, and combined with yours, I think we've got a pretty good list here for people to run out and spend their holiday season inside reading, I guess.
That's what I do. Well, it's what I do all year round. I'm not going to lie, but I definitely during the holiday season.
Well, just as we're in the thick of it with the Christmas season, and I'd also like to talk to my guests about how they celebrate Christmas and what things they're looking forward to. I guess to start off with, do you have a favorite Christmas tradition or a memory from a Christmas past that you love to reminisce over?
Yeah, well, growing up, we always did the huge Christmas at our grandparents'. Christmas Eve over there, and it was like the extended family, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, and we did a euchre card tournament every single year. And so we always we drew names. It was this huge ordeal, and it was so much fun. So that was definitely the tradition growing up. And then Christmas Day, we all had our individual, Christmas at our parents' house. Now I live, further away from my parents. I mean, my dad's deceased, but I live further away from my mom. And it was very weird because it just didn't feel like that traditional Christmas anymore between my father passed away right before Christmas. And so there was just a lot of stuff. But when I moved to Florida, my grandmother on my dad's side lives here, and I live 3 miles from her. So I see her almost every day, but I get to spend the holidays with her. And growing up, she always lived in Florida, so I didn't. So now there's this new thing to look forward to every year where I get to, spend that holiday with her, which is really nice.
Our family is kind of scattered from coast to coast practically. So we tend to just kind of have Christmas on our own. We're hoping this year we can get at least my wife's folks up for a visit, but we'll see. But yeah, it's so fun just getting that time with family and doing the traditions you enjoy. And some of them are not even that elaborate, it's just we're doing it together, and that's fun.
Absolutely. And it's weird because here I also had to, in Florida, I had to switch what I think of as Christmas traditions because my subdivision, and I mean, it's not just it's everywhere. They have a Christmas golf cart parade. And and everybody decorates and they do it for every holiday. We just had a Halloween one, you know, everybody decorates their golf carts, and then they have a golf cart parade, you know, and the Christmas lights go in palm trees. And like, it was just a lot to get used to. And like, not last year, I think it was the year before, it was so warm. Like, we went to my grandmother's clubhouse for Christmas dinner. And there were people swimming, and you know, it's so weird to wrap your head around, you know, because I grew up in the Midwest in Illinois, and that certainly wasn't a possibility, you know. So it was interesting.
I lived in Illinois. I was actually born there and lived there for about 11 years. The first 11 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they got cold winters. You don't go swimming in Illinois.
Right.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Yeah. Now one of the things I love to do when I'm at Christmas, especially when I'm reading, I've got my hot cocoa or eggnog, but what kind of do you have any good treats that you also enjoy at Christmas?
My grandmother is a big baker. I mean, I'm not allowed to say her age anymore, but I mean, she's in her 90s. But she still makes fruitcake every year. So I've learned how to do that in the last couple of years.
Oh, okay.
but she always does this huge like baking that we're very involved in the church, and so she makes it for like exchanges and stuff. So that's always really fun. We do that, and she makes these like Buckeye things that I'd had Buckeyes growing up, but then like she puts in like these chow mein noodles. I don't know what they are, and they're so good. Not chow mein noodles, that's not right. They're like the little crunch noodles that go into it. It's delicious.
I can't think of the name either, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so good. But I mean, as far as with reading, I'm the same as you. Like I want to have a hot cocoa. I want to have a blanket, and I just want to cozy up on my couch and read my book. But man, there's just so many good holiday treats. What's your favorite holiday treat?
Anything? I mean, no. Today I just made some chocolate chip pumpkin cookies. And they're really good.
Gosh, yeah, that sounds delicious.
Those are good. I took a recipe, I think it was from my mother-in-law, but I kind of tweaked it a little bit because I think the recipe just calls for cinnamon, but I put in, you know, all the cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, all ginger, all the pumpkin pie spice kind of thing, and that really made it pop. That was really good.
Wow, that sounds really good.
Another one that I'm getting begged to make again is the chocolate. What was it? Chocolate turtle brownie.
Oh my
something.
Goodness!
I don't know. It's a monstrosity. It's got everything in it. I think a past guest gave me the recipe, and I added a few extra things to it, and
oh my goodness,
it's a monster. But it tastes so good.
Oh, it sounds good. You know, the other thing that my grandmother makes that I hadn't had like as a child, anyways. She takes like graham crackers, and then she melts butter and brown sugar, and then pours that over the graham crackers, and like spreads it out, and then puts nuts, and then just bakes it enough so that it like caramelizes the brown sugar and butter that's already kind of melted. But it's really good too. Very good.
Yeah, my wife will make a bunch of cookies and things, just different kinds, and I can't think of them all now, but come January, I have to, you know, cut back and like, okay, it's time to go for a walk. Yeah.
For sure.
Does your YouTube channel have any special events coming up in December that we can keep an eye out for?
We're going to do this year. It's going to be on a bunch of channels, but we're doing a cozy Christmas Advent calendar. So it'll be like from the first day to the 25th of Christmas. And so each day we'll have somebody different's channel on it, and they're just doing anything they want that's holiday related. There might be decorating or baking or just talking about their favorite Christmas cozies or about their traditions, whatever it may be. And so every single day there'll be a channel to go and look for their video about whatever it is, but it'd all be Christmas related. So I'm really excited about that. I think it'll be so much fun. It's going to kick off on December 1st with a live of whoever's participating that wants to on my channel. I'm thinking at 7 p.m. Eastern, but that's not set in stone, but that's normally kind of when we do most of our lives at that time.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that
Yeah.
you invited me to participate in that.
I'm excited about. Yes.
I am too. Now I just got to think about what I want to do.
Yeah.
It'll probably be book related, knowing me, but yeah. I'm looking forward to watching those and being a part of it. So I'm still kind of new to the whole YouTube thing, and I'm realizing I should have probably been recording a lot more ahead of time, but oh well.
No, your way is perfectly fine anyway, and I just mean anyway. There's no rhyme or reason or way of doing it that's right or wrong. So
you're a part of a YouTube book community that we call it BookTube, and it has been so fun being a part of that.
Oh, it's been great.
It really has. I've been watching those videos for a couple of years before I finally decided to start my own. And it's one of those things where I say, well, I should have done this sooner. This is a blast.
Same thing. I'm like, I don't know why I wasn't, because I watched them same as you. I watched them forever, for a long time before I started.
Mm-hmm. Well, probably that's a lot of our stories, I think. Yeah. We should have done it sooner. Yeah. I want to just thank you again for being willing to come on and on this episode to talk about Cozy Mysteries. And if folks want to find you online and check out your channel, where can we find you?
Yeah, so on YouTube at the Beachbum Bookworm. I don't do a whole lot of other social media, or at least not consistently. But you can always find me on there. And I love to chat cozy mysteries or books in general. So always feel free to start a conversation, ask me about a book, or tell me about a book. I love to hear recommendations as well.
Yep. And she, in spite of being a YouTube megastar, she does answer all of her all of her comments. So she'll engage with you if you want to talk books with her. So yeah.
Sometimes when you don't want to talk books with me, I totally try to. Yeah, I love. That's why I created the channel. I know I always hear that in the booktube, but I always make the joke, like, I realized it wasn't socially acceptable to like be in line at the gas station or grocery store and someone say, hey, how are you? And like, it's not socially acceptable to be like, well, I read this great book. That's not really what they're asking. And I realize that now. So I needed somewhere where I could talk to people about books and they not just like have that blank stare, like, when is she going to stop speaking to me about books? So that's why I created the channel, and it's been wonderful. I love it.
Yeah. I just didn't have a lot of people in what I call my real life, that wanted to talk books or even thought reading was a worthwhile endeavor. And so it's like, well, we can't be friends now if you, you don't want to read. Come on. So, all right. Well, Tiffany, thank you so much for taking time tonight to be on the podcast, and best of luck to you and your channel. And we're looking forward to some fun Christmas videos coming up.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun, and I can't wait for the advent calendar. I'm so happy that you're going to be a part of it this year. I was so excited when you said yes, because I saw a few of your Christmas podcast videos from last year, and they were amazing.
Oh, great. Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, you helped inspire me to put out some more this year. So,
that's awesome.
You bet.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Well, take care.
See ya. Bye, everybody.
All right. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Tiffany, for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. And I would encourage you all to check out her channel. And especially if you love cozy mysteries like I do, that will be your one-stop shop for all things cozy. And she has a wonderful and vibrant community that she's built up around her channel. I joined her Discord channel, and I can't even keep up with the messages on there. There's just so much discussion going on, and it's great. All right, so a couple of things to announce again and to remind you of here as we head forward. First of all, I hope you did have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. We sure did. We ate so much food. It was great to have my family all together again. It was really a lovely, relaxing time. I got some reading in. My wife and I got some walks in. We took Pumpkin, our dog, along, and she loves being outside with her two favorite humans and exploring nature and protecting our town from the invasion of squirrels and bunnies and cats. You're welcome, Walnut. And then also, as I announced in a recent episode, I want to start doing a cozy Christmas book club next year, where we all who are interested throughout the year will read a book and then get together online, probably on a video, and record our thoughts on it, or maybe not even record, just get together and talk online. I'm still in the planning stages, but what I know so far is that I imagine each book taking 2 months, one to read, and then the second month will be where we schedule a time to discuss it. So you should have plenty of time to read throughout the year. If you are interested in joining the Cozy Christmas Book Club, please let me know. Send me an email or a direct message so I can get your name down. I'm right now just trying to collect names to see who would be interested, and getting contact information for you. So going forward, we can make some plans. So like I said, let me know if you're interested, and then also let me know of a book title or a kind of book you'd like to read for the Christmas book club. And I guess my only requirement would be it would have to be a book either about Christmas or set at Christmas. Either one is fine. I'm pretty open to different genres, different, whether it's mysteries, fiction. If you can find a Christmas science fiction book, I'd be really interested in reading that. I don't know of very many, so short story collections would be great, things like that. So if you have recommendations, let me know. And if you're interested in joining us for the Cozy Christmas Book Club next year, sign up and send me an email at cozychristmaspodcast@gmail.com. My book podcast will have a couple of Christmas related guests on who have written some Christmas books. So you might want to pop over there, including a very familiar face. Brian Earl is going to be a guest of mine over on the Bookshelf Odyssey in just about a week or two, I think. So you'll want to make sure to listen to that if you get the chance. All right, I think that's everything. By now, I am sure that your Christmas decorations are up. And if not, then you better get a crack on it, because there's only like less than a month left till Christmas. And I am very excited about what the month will bring. With that, I would direct you down to the show notes. There are some links there on how you can help support the podcast. I have an Etsy store, a merchandise store, as well as any donation made on Ko-fi.com. I will send you a Christmas card and a bookmark and sticker of the podcast. And if that would interest you, the links are down below. So until next time, I just, as always, want to remind you to be kind to each other and to do good, and to remember to honor Christmas in your heart and try to keep it all the year. Have a very Merry Christmas.